Hello, everybody. My name is Anday, and welcome back to another super cool video. Today, this is going to be, well, something that's unexpectedly dropped. It is Lego Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 2, Part 2. This is episode 11. So, literally right after the trailer, which I honestly, I was too hyped about the trailer to watch it or to react to it, because, I mean, just saying though, just saying, like, Lego trailers, at least for Ninjago, have always been kind of short, and they release them on several different waves, right? So they have like a trailer where it'll show everything that's what we've seen, and then something new, a little glimpse, and then they'll show like another thing where it's like someone dubbing over some words, and they just have the sound effects of every scene without voices or music rather, also for that, because that's what the latest trailer was, and we saw a good amount of things. We saw Lloyd in his Master Lloyd costume, which is really cool to see, especially in animation. I know it was something that many people wanted to see, and looks like we're gonna get it. And then there is also the the other suits for the other characters, like with Wildfire. She looks great. I like how she actually seemed to have combed her hair rather than just keeping that little thing on there. Which, actually, speaking of Wildfire, I also heard obviously haven't reacted to it, but I did get some glimpses here and there of what the shorts that she had were like, because those were unexpected and new, that have some different animation and also different voice acting. But it's fine. I'm always up for something that's new and interesting, like the Garmadon comic, which I still really want to read. Shatterspin. But I think this was not meant to release before that, because I'm sure, like, many of the questions we have that we'll say are expected to be quote unquote answered in the Garmadon comic may or may not be alluded to something that is uh answered in what we're gonna see. Like, there's a difference between a comic that comes out, like, say, this month, and then a thing that's supposed to come out in a few months from now, but was unexpectedly leaked until today. So, uh, yeah, pretty much not much else to talk about there. There was a big dragon at the end. There was a, I'm trying to remember his name. There was a Cinder with he actually had what appeared to be heat in his hand, which is very interesting. Like, how did he get the power? How does he have that power? My assumption from that trailer actually was it wasn't that whoever wins gains powers, but presumably what it could be is whoever, say, during the tournament, like, maybe it's on a maybe it's sort of like on a round system, like sort of like Mortal Kombat, where except in this one, to switch it up, the masters of the elements, because presumably the only ones who are joining are going to be masters with elements, you know what I mean? So that would mean, people who have elemental powers, they join and they fight for something to do with the source dragons. And from this one, what I was thinking was, what if, like, halfway through the match they switch their powers, because the source dragons, they can, I guess, do anything. So what if they do that, and that would equal to, they would be, whoever wins and gets to prove that they're the better fighter, regardless of the elements that they may have. You know what I mean? So, like, that is an interesting way to look at it, at least for me, because it would make it much more interesting than what the other tournament arc was. Which I have high hopes for this one, because, I mean, I'm just saying, the last one was less, oh, you must actually have to compete in this tournament and see who wins. No, it was more or less just a thing where, oh, Evil Chen, he actually is planning the whole thing, and then he's going to take us all off one by one and randomly insert himself at the bracket, which, that's not how tournaments work, sir. No. Oh, no. Yeah, so I wasn't really a 100 fan of that, especially seeing a certain similar tournament arc in another show where a lot of people have a lot of powers. At least seeing from that perspective, we could have gotten a lot better with the what we have gotten from before. So I'm not comparing them at all, but just saying, like, what was shown there easily could have been what was seen there. You know what I mean? So yeah, pretty much that's all I have to talk about this. Like, this was, I would guess, this is a little bit like pre-set up before I get into what we're actually all here for. So Please don't mind my rambling. I tend to do it a lot in order to spite out the runtime of the video and make sure I don't get copyrighted. So, Lego Ninjago Episodes Rising Season 2, Part 2. So, wow. Okay, so, yeah, this was right after the trailer, well, at least from the timeline of events, and then it unexpectedly seemed to have dropped on Peacock. Now, for, leak reasons, I cannot say where exactly I'm watching this on, but I will say that you should support the show, whether it is on Peacock or it's on Netflix in October, which we did to get that release date. Yeah, so I mean, I would watch it there, but also like for just saying you should watch and support the show, even if you've seen my other reactions to other seasons of this show, where I did watch it on Netflix, and you all saw it with me watch it on Netflix. So please do go watch it if it's available to you on Peacock, and or I guess I assume it was launched intentionally on Peacock. I can't be 100% sure. I never even knew it was on that site or that service, or it was on you know, I assumed it was just leaked on other things because that's happened before, believe it or not. But the concept of a leak is so different because like what happened with Crystallize wasn't a leak, at least the first half. What happened? What happened in season one of part two for Dragon's Rising actually leaked a few episodes beforehand, but I didn't see that. I avoided him pretty well, and I mean to be honest, it was leaked like a few episodes, and it was so close to the actual release date that I didn't really I don't really have much to look out for. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that brings us to here and now. I am contemplating right on where exactly I should do with this because well, I'll get more into that later. But for now, I'm just saying, should I release this now or when it does come out in October? Because I have a fair assumption that some people are gonna watch what I'm watching here instead of watching it on Netflix, which you should do. Support this show, please, please. It's a really good show that I really love a lot. I've loved it since 2011, and I'm sure. Just saying, just because it was so long ago doesn't mean it does not hold a special place in my heart. Anyways, I guess I've rambled on enough. Don't know what to talk about. I have my sig vid here. I'm all ready to react and watch this and discuss it with you all who are watching. And also, I mean, it should be legally fine for me to post this if I need want to, because I saw somebody else reacting to it, like full on live streaming it, and I guess it was fine for them. I don't know what else was going on, but um, I just want to make sure I get this across. Please go support this show. I love it, and I'm sure you all love it too if you're watching this video and have watched this long for me rambling. Anyways, why don't we get into it? All right, like I'm low key, like still, it feels it's weird. Gonna watch a show so early that I was so anticipated for, wanting to be dropped like you're saying, oh, it was a good October. No, it's here now, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to watch it now. Mostly because I mean, I really want to avoid spoilers, and there's going to be a spoiler lift eventually in the communities I'm in. So, in order for that not to happen to me, at least, I'm just going to go ahead and watch this here and watch it with you all here. And you can want to watch me watch this. But please go watch it when it appears on official streaming services, whether it and or official by, Netflix and such. Anyways, I've said that 3 times now. Why don't we get into it? This is Lego Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 2, Episode 11, The Shape of Motion. This is, of course, brought to you by Wild Brain and whoever is running the current thing for Ninjago. So let's get into it. The way they present it to us, like, okay, see, here's what happens, and here's what is going to happen. And from what we've seen happen so far, it's pretty insane. So like that was a really good episode. Wow, like I know it was very lore heavy, but like I was really into it. Wow. Okay, so there's so much to talk about. Great starter first of all. Like I think that was pretty good. Catching us up on more Aaron and Sora, which is always nice. Because they're the mainline preliminary ninja now. At least the two quote unquote main characters. At least the first two we first saw all the way back in season one of Dragons Rising. So like For them to be out doing this thing right over here, it makes sense. It makes sense to all. Um, what I thought they were doing is they were going to into the technology for uh whatever the we're using for what the administration. They were using the realm thing in there to look for ways to converse that realm into to converse the portals into the realm of what was it called? Nether space? I think it was Nether space. And find Kai, which again, I don't know how long it's gonna be before that's resolved because wow, that's pretty like still like affecting me really because poor Kai, he's lost in some unknown dimension with Bonzo, poor Bonzo too. Yeah, and at least the others are great. Like them being oh, it will quanish descent, which is great because it's something you don't hear them because it's just the silly things they say in there. Pretty great. The the administration people are always great. Whatever her name is and what's the name. Like I wish we have to have a minifigures or at least a set wave or a whole season dedicated to them because they're like quickly becoming an overarching threat. Like because even with last season, the last part, they were off with in the Rome Mysteria fighting Zane, Cole, and Bonzo, and Jay was there, and we didn't see Jay here, so that's a little interesting. So yeah, so then we see them there, and then they go to into the realm, but they did say, um, they did mention here with the head of the Department of Realmian Assignments when he did what? He went missing. Oh, I didn't miss that. He's missing. That's interesting. Where could he have gone? Where is he? And it is interesting, and it is good, like how from the way it's worded here too, it doesn't make it simply easy for them to figure it out because it's Agent Walker is how he appears to be named, and not like formalities. Oh, this is Agent J Walker. No, it's just Agent Walker, which is very very. Although it's a little like somewhat misleading, I guess, because how would they not have known his last name? But I mean, to be fair, this is it's not very common for them to be like, oh look, the guy named Agent Walker who is ahead of this strange place is also the same name as the ninja who went missing. I wonder if they're connected. No, it makes more sense to me that oh okay, this is the name of this guy, but he's not important, so we don't have to think about it that much because I mean eventually there's not going to be enough people whose names of different people who are the same thing. You know, like the same. Also, it's interesting how it goes by the name Agent Walker and not Jay and not Agent Gordon. For those who don't get it, just look at that one season. Anyways, yeah. So first of all, like also like why would they suspect the Jay is, I guess, brainwashed into working in for the administration and even then, it is also like at least to be assumed the other guys are also brainwashed into working there. Presumably, despite the at least from the head of the staff being humans, Super T, and whatever their names were. The what's it? What do you? What are their names? How can I can't remember right now? It's not ogres obviously or orcs. Mm, Fairly not. It's the month. It's the months. And also this frame here is golden. Let me show it to you right here. If I can find it, bam. They're epic. They're cool. And also this intro. This intro is insane. If you all can direct your attention to this. It's literally I'm not saying it's in a bad way, but it's what at least I assumed it was the same one as before, but it is fairly different now that it seems to be not copy pasted, but just edited differently where it has different characters in different places now and or different backgrounds and different models have been updated. So like Cinder is wearing he's wearing purple or pink here, I think. think that's pink. Um, Cinder Roz, and then Cinder back there. He has his armor. Then there's Jordana, who also has her armor. And there's Noct. He's in the front lines, which is epic. Then there's Zane with his half mask, Nia with half mask, and a bandana. That's cool. Aaron with his tournament suits, I assume, and his blue half mask, which is interesting. I guess maybe he's wanting to pair up with Sora. You know, it's on a dual partnership. And then there's Sora with her half mask, and then Lloyd with his tournament costume. I don't know how long it's. And ooh, I just noticed this. So look above here where the towers are. You can actually see symbols of each element, which is really cool. Really interesting. Like visually pretty cool to see. What else in here? Yeah. We get a better view here of what these guys got going on. You can see here Ross, the big man. Oh, well, it's still showing here. He's got. Oh, okay. Well, it is pink, but I guess it's more red in the minifigure. But it is pretty pink here. I guess I'm trying to figure out, is this his body? Is it his, like, the way he looks? Or is it just changed a little differently for the sake of minifigure? Because it's pretty pink, but I guess it's red in the minifigure, so it's a little interesting, I guess. So does that mean he was powered alternately by the code of strength? Sorry, I'm not sleepy right now. I'm just a little like, ooh, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's cool. And then there's Cinder back there. He has this cool armor piece, which, and he appears to have a new suit, I assume. That's interesting. And then there's Raz still using his Imperium hammer, which, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess. But I guess his Imperium armor is also pretty cool. And then there's Jordana with her new her new armor piece. I guess these would be less associating with the the wolf the wolf people, wolf warriors, because they're trying to enter the tournament and make it clear that they're not associated with them somehow. So I assume they're entering. Oh, I guess they are changed to be red here, which is interesting because that's like similar to what the that's pretty similar to what they look like in the sets. You know, if you watch, you see they're wearing purple, right? But well, the wolf warriors are purple with this color scheme of redness to them instead of blue. So like blue, it's replaced now with purple and red. Then there's Noct with, he's looking cool as ever. Yeah, honestly, like, I'm really interested in what he's all about. Yeah, I guess I'll just show it here. And now we have the team. Uh, there's Cole back there, awesome as always. He's in his mech. I wish he was in his suit, but this is good enough. This is good too. There's Lloyd in his tournament suit. He looks epic. There's Wildfire. I was literally about to say Wildstyle. I don't know why. Wildfire and her cool thing. I like her shoulder pads too. That's pretty neat. And then there's yeah, there's Nia, or yeah, there's Sora here. She's looking good. She has her glow hands, which it is interesting how they're all supposed to be sleeveless, right? She is sleeveless, but she also has this out. So, just saying, the headcanon of her arm being a prosthetic still continues to carry some carry some weight, I would say. Very interesting, very cool. So yeah, then there's Nia. She's a girl boss as always. It is sad to see the place without Kai. But yeah, I like how they clearly have. Okay, this is good. Ooh, that's cool. Look, see her and her facing off. That's awesome. They'll fight, and then there's Noct here taking the place for where Cinder was doing his Shadow Spin, which is really cool. There's Zane being epic. His sword here, Noct. And Noct is so cool, dude. I don't know what about him, but he's bossing everybody. And I like how Lloyd is in place for. He is in place for what Kai was to Cinder. So that's very cool. This is a very good intro. I really like it. It's probably also different because we didn't get a video of. Well, we didn't get. What we usually get is like, oh, okay, here is the new intro. Just shows the intro like a few days ahead, and then before he gets, oh look, what do y'all think of the new intro? And like, oh, that's good. But here, because obviously this was released so suddenly, we get it's saying, oh look, here's the intro. I bet you didn't know it was gonna be new. Which I mean, low key though. I didn't think they were gonna update it, but they did, and it's pretty great because I mean, well, It was part one, I believe, part one of season one that had the same intro as part two, but they weren't updated. You know, it was the same beat for beat. Which I mean, in the final moments of the last episode for that season, it made sense because of what was going on. So then we see here Lloyd's visions. We see Beatrix again. I'm very curious to see what she's all about and why she punches Lloyd here. But yeah, here's the Source Dragon emotion. We see that was directly what was going on there. How do I do that thing with the keys? Hold on, I'm gonna figure something out real quick. Let me just look up something real quick. I'm not looking it up by having, but I hope I saved enough in my things to where I'll be able to find it so quickly. There is a way, I believe, to go through things frame by frame, and I need to figure out where I saw it, and more specifically where I saved it, because I opened up this little tutorial thing on my YouTube, and I saw, hey, if you press these buttons, you can be able to go. Oh, I can just look it up right now, and it's a lot faster. How to go frame by frame on YouTube. Pushing the period key, you can see one frame at a time. Hope you can see that. Okay, period key. That is this one. Oh, that's so true. Okay, we have, yeah, she punches Lloyd. Then here's Source Dragon Emotion, which it is like presumable then, I guess. Beatrix could be behind it, but we still don't know what her deal is. Then obviously the temple. Well, we don't even know where it was sent to. We just know it was sent somewhere sunny. Like, I assumed it would be, at least in terms of what sending them to another realm or a quote unquote other realm, it would be the where the FSM was chilling. So like partial heaven, but not really. Yeah, we see them training, which is good to see. They're not just standing around be a bunch of mooks. They're actually gonna do the thing and make sure they're all doing good, preparing for what may come with the tournament. Here we see this has got to be, this is Wu's waterfall, right? The thing we see in that flashback in last season. So it is interesting how we go back to it, but it's now in a dark red aesthetic, and then we see it actually glow for a minute here, as we can see right here. So it glows. So that's interesting, whatever that may mean. And we just see Noctir being puppeted by Rouse. Well, not puppeted, but like put into control, which is, in my opinion, is a really good power dynamic because it does leave it to be like, okay, this guy's extreme strength, but he still has to be, you know, pretty much the not footnote, but like the quote unquote lower tier of the bad guys. Like because Rouse is running the whole show, sort of, at least under his master's name, and also with Jordana, Cinder, Jordana question mark actually, and then Noct. So because at least from what he assumed would have happened, as all of them would have showed up and then participated in the tournament, which is complicated, but it's pretty clear. Like that was their goal from this seems to be the beginning, at least from his goal for the goal for the master, whoever this master is, which they do give a few hints here and there about what's going on with that. And plus, I mean, orange, orange equals bad. Bad is going to be a celestial energy being that, I mean, unless they describe it to be something that's, somehow much, much, much higher tier than whatever the source dragons are. Something eldritch being, incomprehensible by mortal eyes and outside of the realms of reality. It's probably not that. But, I mean, come on. I'm sure everyone and their moms would want to see an Eldritch Horror be a villain in Ninjago, which, I mean, that's kind of what the Overlord is, or was, for like a little bit, and they treat him, a little bit like a lower tier villain. Well, not lower tier villain, but at least lower tier compared to that, because, he is someone relevant to the space. Except for my theory. My theory is and always will be that he is the sibling to the FSM that was created by a dragon and an Oni wanting to repeat again what they lost. But I guess him being a representation of the FSM's Oni side is guessing like I guess that works too, to be honest. But yeah, we don't know much, and we probably won't know much until they update it. And I mean, they're going this far back for the lore, we might as well do that. So yeah, then we see Lloyd. I love how he sits here in front of the Wu painting, like or the it's a painting or a photograph. He doesn't have his sideburns. Um, yeah, he's just painting here, and this is a good thing. To be honest, like it goes to show how much at least still respect he has for his master Wu, and also with just a place of comfort for him. Because I mean, low key though, this is kind of what he used to see. He was just a little kid when he was first found by them, and he always looked up to Master Wu. Now he's gone, and we're all sad. But yeah, I like how he's actively, looking into the visions and seeing what is what. And yeah, Master how many millions, and that's where he's training and where he did mention Beatrix, which I mean, I guess you've had those specific visions for a long time. May just may mention something to do with Beatrix, unless I guess wait, it is also seeing he also did see that, but I guess he doesn't make sense of it and didn't recognize it until later. But I guess it's like a dream thing, you remember it in the motions, right? But when you come out of it, you remember less of it because you just woke up. It's literally just that. Like when you have a dream, right, and you wake up, you experience less of the dream motions, and you forget more of it through every moment. I'm gonna assume that's what we're going for here, because why not mention that Beatrix could probably be out there and is messing with some weird sword and punching Wu? But yeah, what kind of being could have that much power to teleport a whole thing away? And is there no clue? Let me figure out. And, oh, that is the wrong emote I should be using. Wrong one. So like yeah, it is interesting how they were there. They listened to what he said, and they're still thinking about it. So like that's so cool, dude, that they're able to recognize that and still think about it, like they didn't miss it, at all. And they're still here just thinking about what's going on and what to do now that is no longer. But yeah, I like Wildfire's design here. I think it's really neat. I like how she apparently makes a flame construct, which is what I assume is what's going on here, because you know, because look at that. That's a straight, and she says four, so that's like a fire golf club, which is something we never saw. Something never saw Kai do. Well, we did see something similar with the quote unquote non-canon shorts, where he absorbed fire and redirected fire into his own fire and then shot it back, which was epic. And I consider it to be canon. I just assume Wu has some insane dimension powers in his disposal, and that he just never uses because it's too OP, or he just took some what do you call it, the the Moo Bloom tea, I think, and he used that to go back to his prime, which was when he had all that. Which I mean, it makes more sense, and that being that instead of it being some Wu just had some incredibly insane power that we never saw for no reason. But it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, I just learned how to use the thing when I get to frame by frame, which is important for a show like this. And yeah, they mentioned the Chokshi paperwork. They're great. They're awesome. They still have those cameras back there, which is neat. But yeah, I like how they try not to give them any harm, and they just want to do the ninja thing and then just escape, and they don't attempt to punch anybody. Which I mean, fair game. Don't fight unless you want to be fought, I guess. And they don't. And I mean, to be fair, they have laser guns pointed at them, so I assume that would be not the way out. So, I mean, smoke bombs. That's probably the best thing they could have done, which they did. Yeah, look at this guy's here. Just throwing a plunger and a toaster, which I mean, fair enough, guy. If they don't work, and I like how we do get a brief scene on the outside, which I didn't even notice. They have the cracks here, the blue cracks for the wildness or the madness, and it really just seems like a big building. Which I mean, we only see a little bit here, to be honest. Like it's not even that big, or at least from whatever view this was. But it does seem to be good portion. It keeps doing that with the thing. I gotta fix the hotkeys, or at least assume it's just something that doesn't make it so. Yeah, look, see, because it seems to be like embedded in rocks almost, or maybe there are rocks in front of it going on here. Lights. It looks like a building, or like a. It's an interesting like a mix between a building and like a lodge, I guess, like a wood cabin or something. It is interesting. But yeah, we don't get much seen from that, so I guess. Zoom. Yeah, so that's all we see of it. I assume one day we'll just pan to this building and it's gonna be a giant, like, giant building in the middle of Realm of Madness. And it's like, oh, how could anyone miss this? Literally, the heroes. Well, I guess not. They knew enough of it to come back. And what I assumed they were doing is just they were coming here to see if they had any connections to the Nether space. But I guess even this realm travel, or it's traveling to realms that are less places of dimensional pockets and more so just locations on this new universe. So that's again interesting. Probably something I should have mentioned or talked about way back when, but it's cool. But yeah, but then we see the matriarch fall down, which I never expected this. Well, I mean, we did see like a little brief a glimpse. I assumed it was just any other dragon really, but she didn't have a crown, which threw me off. Or horns, I guess, is what they say. Cause and yeah, then they play some music, and honestly, I did not expect this. I never think they would kill a dragon, let alone a dragon who is this important. The matriarch is gone, and it wasn't even like this is a monster dragon, she was just doing the thing. But no, this was a dragon we heard the voice of, who we saw all the way back in the last season, who we grew a little emotional connection with, and a cool moment with Lloyd. Like, come on, man, I did not expect this. Like, wow. And it's not even, oh, this is made for shock value. Like, no, I assume they would have to go out of their way to do this, because they would never just, like, I mean, fair point, fair point. Ninjago has not been shy of deaths before, but it is different when you see it happen on screen. And so closely related to a dragon, which, I mean, even in Dragons Rising, all the way back in season 1, we grew familiar with dragons. We loved them. And they're gone. And now she's gone. So it's so insane to me that they were able to do this. Oh yeah, and also we see the villains here. They're chilling, they're doing their thing, I guess. No, hold on. We also see we okay, again here it is. So again we are in this glowing orangey like space. And it is interesting how, we don't seem to be well, I mean, no, I don't think they would pack up everything and move the whole temple elsewhere after this. But I assume, they have a pretty good enough of settlements going on. I wonder what they eat though. If they need to eat, if their souls are shattered. But yeah, I like how they're watching too. Like, huh? Look at these men. Or look at these. Look at our bosses fighting together. Let's study their moves. Show me your moves. And yeah, actually, do they use? No, never mind. I was gonna say, can they use Shadow Spin? But they can't because they're most likely not elemental masters. So that's not gonna have how it works for them. So and then we see the MVPs here. I like that. I like that. I like the row of swords back there. Or even if it's one sword, it's cool to see that there. You see, you have Cinder, who is still glowing red. So I assume he fought enough to where his soul is shattered, and he doesn't need the little gong thing to shatter his soul and not give him hatred. So he already has his soul shattered, so he can do shatter spin naturally, it seems. But yeah, I like how it's both them fighting, because it's a good way to see what his level is compared to him, and also get to see more of Noct fighting and see what he really can do. Because I mean, we saw a lot. Like we could see he was able to fight Motion Dragon, or yeah, the Rising Dragon technique with motion, and he was able to separate it from himself and fight that. Which we do see also. Actually, now that I notice it, they're all still wearing their like right after the first they're still wearing their part 1 costume, so it is interesting. And yeah, like how you can also see the Thing is back, and he does it. That's a straight up like low key breakdancing there. Knocked, kind of epic. I like how he still has he has good aura. I will say that for someone we don't know much of, he still has it. I'm just that's all I'm saying. He's quick. Okay, I know they're doing this intentionally, but they really want to make you really like knocked. Like not obviously not the character, but like the one that got out, one of the Forbidden Five that got out of the never space or never. It's not never realm. No, nether space. Why is it never space? Nether space. Who ended up here? So yeah, they obviously gotta make him the coolest. Which I mean, I don't doubt that at all. And I assume we might get a glimpse of it in the comic that I still have to read. Yeah, look at him. He's so cool. I like how he kept his half mask on. He may have threw out the other robes, but also he kept this one, which is really cool, really neat. And his eyes glow too. Oh, and his eyes stop glowing. That's interesting. Well, I assume he's got to do it in order to do this and then go. Yes. So yeah, that's cool. Use that to power himself up, and then shock with. Ooh, that's cool. Visual lightning, red lightning. That's neat. And then go in the elemental smoking. Then hit him back, but then he catches that and dodges quickly. That's so cool. These two are really good. Like just hand to hand, both power and hand to hand, I guess. And in terms of like fighting, they're pretty good. Actually, this is a pretty good interior shot we never really had of this temple. All the purple is going on, the purple light and the blue fluorescence with the wolf wars right in the background. This is really good scenery. I respect them for waiting this long to show us what's actually in the temple. But yeah, then he pretty much owns him here. Getting hit with the bail. But yeah, the Ross sees for him. Which before, I mean, I assume that would be a. Oh, they did that again. Would assume it would be a pretty fatal blow. Which I mean, he does himself call out that this isn't war. This is just training. Which and he says everything is war. Which I am spoiling the line, but it's such a raw. And then we see Jordana. Okay, yeah, he's wearing his regular suit. Jordana's, but she's looking. She's not as crazy as she seemed before. She didn't even speak anything, as far as I know. She's just here with her arms back, looking all mysterious and such. Girl, what are you up to? What is she cooking? Or maybe she's behind the matriarch death? Who knows? Yeah, this is training, not war. And he just says it himself here. Which, I mean, that quote itself is just raw, I think. Everything is war. Which, I mean, what that is just a really good line, to be honest. Like, in terms of, like, villain lines, that's up there. In terms of, what would be the assumption of what they're going by. And at least from now, to see what their feelings are on current things. Yeah, savor anger when it matters. But yeah, Jordana, what is up with you? I'm very curious. Your skills have improved since for you, not which I guess so. Yeah, so press by shot has been. I'll just do it like this. I don't care. Take his blood control. I'm like, really let loose because I don't trust you. Expect for die, but I'm in charge. I'm gonna be fighting with people. And I'm not gonna be. I don't need a knife. Yeah, what is up with you? Knife back, which that's a pretty good line, I guess. And yeah, something's up with Jordan. Is she looking at knocked here as a sign of familiarance because she's possessed by another of the Forbidden Five? What is up with her? But yeah, I like how I also call back to the spiritual mud that was in the first season with the guys here coming to bring it to help the Matriarchs, but I guess it wasn't enough. But yeah, we have Xanth, which I guess she was absent last part, and so was Heatwave. Which I mean, I guess it makes sense for don't really need them until the plot demands them to, or not even they weren't even needed here. They just could have come out with any other dragon, but actually was Xanth in the last time? I can't even remember. I can't remember. I remember Jiro was, which Jiro he was great, but I can't remember who was there. But yeah, this is sad, dude. Like, also he calls him tribe father, which I mean, I guess we don't know the specific familial connection Heatwave was to uh Wildfire, but I guess father would make sense. He did raise her since he was a baby, so I guess I don't know. I don't know why am I looking at this now. I guess I was a brother or like familiar, uh, like siblings esque relationship. But I guess father and daughter works here. He only said she only ever referred to him as family, so I assumed just in some weird family like dynamic. But yeah, very sad, very very sad actually, because we never see a dragon die, especially like this. We never saw one die on screen in front of our eyes, especially when you're having a baby. We see a baby right here, which I assumed I really just thought, oh, okay, she laid an egg and then they hatched, but no, it's just a little guy. Look at him or her, the baby. And they look so cute too. They even have the horns there too. That's so neat. And I like how it does kind of seem, taking Ryu's design but making it more different. Well, Ryu's base, I would say. So yeah, again, they do just set up who killed the matriarch by taking the horns, which I would assume would be the whoever is, I guess from what we assume, it would probably be either Roz or someone related to Roz. By that being, what their goal is to take out the matriarchs, I guess, for whatever reason, and then take out the source dragons. But taking out the matriarchs would just alert the source dragon, or at least the motion one. But it is interesting how he's able to do all this. So, like, who would it be? Beatrix, I assume, could be doing something. We still don't know what's going on with her. Um, Jordana, who knows? I would say maybe it could be her because we don't know what she's up to even now, nor like what is with her. Like, cause we still don't know really even because it would be assumed that she was possessed by a thing of one of the Forbidden Five because we do actually something to mention point out for real in the trailer we do see only 3 of them in the nether space with Kai. So, like, where did the other 2 go? We know one is knocked and he's chilling there, but the other one, we don't know nothing about that one, so, who knows? Who knows indeed? So, actually, wait a minute, hold on. Prediction. What if the other one that got out was the Elemental Master of Spirit and is using the Spirit element to control Jordana? Boom. Mystery solved. Actually, I don't even know. Which I'm mostly basing this off of because there's so many more new elements now, and so many things that aren't supposed to be elements that are referred to as elements for the sake of power dynamics. Ugh, I'm sorry, I spoke too fast. I wasn't able to breathe there. So yeah, like, what if that one was the Elemental Master Spirit and used the brief moment it had, despite not being sacrificed, to escape from the Nether space? Maybe it's because it's a spiritual thing and not a physical thing. So it can only use its spirit form to. They can only use their spirit form to get out, and use that spirit form to possess Jordana because they couldn't get out of their regular form. And that's why her eyes glowed at the end because it's the shattered soul of the spirit that is from the Forbidden Five that use the Forbidden Five to Shatter Spin. And Shatter Spin is red, and that equals evil. Boom. Theory solved. I am obviously the smartest Ninjago fan. So yeah, all this goes down, and I guess it makes sense. Drawing here, drawing skills are great. Look at that. Even pointed an arrow too. With claws. And speaking of claws, we see the freebooters, I guess. Which, I mean, that's a pretty neat name. Yeah, still Rapton's movement. Which, it is great to see Rapton, because, I mean, I assumed everything would be chill back in Imperium. He would just be doing his thing there, but I guess he did say himself that because Imperium is not hunting dragons anymore, he wouldn't want to hunt dragons, or, I mean, he would want to continue hunting dragons, so that's why he went out there and is doing his thing with. And yeah, he was never by his side. Oh, it's doing the thing again. I swear, I'm not flustered by Rapton. Don't get the wrong idea. So yeah, he literally just said in the last season, or last season, he hates them all and would just rather take her down than just do anything else. Which, I mean, that makes sense. Well, I'm sure it wasn't like, oh, okay, he's 50-50. He's a good guy again. Or a good guy forever now. And we don't have to worry about him being bad. But no, he was just good for that moment to help. Which it works, and it works here. And I like how he gave his rides here, like little leftover things or little makeovers. Which seems to be they don't use their drones here. They just use their shooting. And I like how the design of the new claws, or I guess the freebooters, and then the boots are free. Told you no one get wrapped. I like how they have another like little design in their face. Like they put some paint going on here, have it done there, right there. Everything else seems pretty clean, except for the mask, which they don't have the regular mask. They just have regular humans. Which it looks like they just bought like the dollar store shades and put them on there. But I assume the masks have some form of natural face plates, because it seems to be like they wore a mask, right, and they wear a helmet over the mask. So that seems to be what the case is here. But I like, I just like how they made them visually different with all the, the little paint, I guess, paint marks going on here, and that looks new. That's pretty neat. Little sort of Lego piece, claw hand. Well, I guess that makes sense. These are the drones. So yeah, I like how he immediately assumes that he was the one behind it. So yeah, freebooter. Yeah, highest bidder and pesos. Which was it from the wait a second? I assume he's done this to many dragons. So I guess that's a somewhat good passion or good mention of how long it's been since then and now. So like that is interesting. But it did say he worked. And yeah, I like how Lloyd's first assumption was assuming he killed the dragon, and he holds him up here. Like, this is insane. We never see Lloyd do something like this. And yeah, wood wrapped on lie. Heard the dragon, yeah, baby dragon. You know how much that's worth? I assume he's not sword any big dragon, so yeah. And this frame here, just the frame of him doing stuff or saying things while stuff is going on in the background is really good. While he holds him up, I assume to kill him if he says something he doesn't like, to throw Raptown into the fire right down there. Or just let him fall. Which is also a possibility. But yeah, Dark Sword Lloyd. Dark Side Lloyd is something we always need. I've always ever needed. But yeah, stuff in the background is also pretty great. Yeah. So really good scene here. Yeah, and then they all fight. Well, they gotta fight with the backup. Then they all pile up, which I like, and this is some classic Ninjago. Oh, you'll pay for this. Where they all fall, where they all go away, which is great. I like how the last one to pay for what? Are we selling them something? It's vigorous speech, which is it was pretty great. Like, Rapdown, we love you, and we will continue to love you if you're doing silly stuff like this. Which it is great to see. It is great to see how much villains they have not like underselling the importance of, but just having be natural characters that continue doing their thing in this world. You know? So like whatever is going on with Dorama, what's going on with the administration, what's going on here with Rapton and the freebooters. It's just so like interesting to see, just because the ninja defeated them and they're pretty much doing their thing now, that they're still going on doing other stuff and evolving in this world, which is really really cool. It's something I really like, actually, because it goes to show there is good passage of time between seasons, enough to where even the villains are changing, not their status quo percent, but like changing what they're doing, how they're reacting to things, what are they up to, and that's just something I really really like. It's a really good, really interesting world building, which Ninjago was no shy away from that. But yeah, there's a moment here. It's pretty sad, saying, matriarch, and there's these little babies. They're so cute. They're golden. Are these the new golden dragons? Well, they are. I guess they could be. They could be yellow, but yellow would look weird on dragon color, so they just make them golden-esque, which I assume has no relation to the golden dragon. Yeah, this is pretty, well, one, heavy episode, but actually, now that I see it here, I assume. No, okay. Oh, okay, hold on. This is a really great shot. Look at that. Look how awesome the monastery is. This is like movie, this is literally movie quality establishing shot. It looks so good. And I love this show so much. I love it. Compare this to the still of the monastery from season 1 or even the pilots. It's grown so much and I love that about this. I love Ninjago, guys. From however many criticisms, however many things that bother you in the show, I will always love it. I'll always love whatever it has and whatever its ups and downs may be. I will always look at the positives as positives. And that is a good example because apparently some people are kind of split on this season. Not split as in incredibly divisive, but just there's a few things that were not meant to a few things that aren't up to the hope of what certain fans would want. Which I mean, fair. You can't please everybody, and you can't always write something to that meets the quality expectation of someone. I mean, to be fair, like to contradict myself, the parts 2, and especially part 1 of season 2 have all been really, really good. Like part 1 of season 2 was good. Part 1 of season 1 was good, and part 2 of season 1 was also good. But especially part 1 of season 2 was really, really good. We all know it. We were there. We saw. And I just think we're having good. But yeah, this is a Source Dragon of Motion, which we've never seen before. And I like how Lloyd immediately calls, even if a dragon did just manifest out of nowhere and land here and started talking to them, they assume she's a little short. And like how she also speaks. I think not by her mouth, but with her mind. I have to go back and see. But yeah, this I really like how she shows. Apparently, this is her quote unquote true form, or at least a form that's comprehensible by them, because we don't even know. They could be freaking universe sized. But yeah, like apparently this is enough to get the okay. Like, because I mean, it would be. This thing is huge. She is, or I assume they. I would assume they. To be honest, I can't remember which one was confirmed by binary. I don't know. I can't remember. I think it was Life. I may be Life. But yeah, here is the big dragon, which I like how she wasn't all glowy just for that moment to show, oh, it's a big glowy dragon. No, she can actually manifest a physical form here, and we see the physical form as. And I'm also wondering, is she like standing right now? Is she just floating? Is she flying? Because I mean, to be fair, we don't know how low the clouds, or how we don't know how high this monastery is. For being on top of a mountain, we don't know how big the mountain is. And I mean, to be fair, that would give a good distance on what's saying, how big is this dragon? But yeah, this dragon is huge, biggest dragon we've ever seen, including the firstborn. Which, to be fair, the firstborn, we did see the firstborn directly land from the monastery, so it is a good size. Like this one could eat her up. But yeah, she is huge, and I really want that set now. But it just seemed to be like whatever is gonna happen. I assume we will get we will see. However, it may happen. The temple of the wolf warriors will be on our back, so who knows what that means for here. But yeah, she's here chilling, and she's like, convinced now, and like yeah, everybody would be looking right his face. It's like, huh. And yeah, I like how she even does like the little form, but it's still pretty big in comparison. But yeah, unseen menace. Danger in the Search Dragons. So we do see other dragons, which is interesting because we never really saw them, but it does give us more. There are still more things going on. So like this one looks so cool. I like the colors. I wish we saw them, and this one too. This one also looks really cool. But this one, I like the colors here. Really like mystical, like it even has like almost like a hypnosis symbol on their face. That's really neat. That's really, really neat. But man, I wish we saw it. But yeah, the crowns are stolen. So the crowns or the horns are interesting because I assume that was what was giving them the ability to talk to humans, or at least to Lloyd. Which I mean, actually, hold on. Lloyd himself just said that he spoke to the matriarch and the matriarch spoke to him. Could that be because he's part dragon? The thing that's not even mentioned that much often? I think that's because of that. We even get this thing saying, you all didn't hear that? Why didn't you all hear that? It's because he's part dragon. That's how he was able to hear her. That is so cool, dude. I hope, even if, that's not confirmed or anything, I'm confirming that. Because that is just so cool. And so, like, hidden in there that you'd have to really think about to actually make sense of it. And I mean, yeah, like, for real. But yeah, they mention that captured by mortals, and before that, I don't think a source dragon's very life was extinguished. Which I mean, could have just said right then and there the source dragon was killed. But yeah, that is interesting. I don't remember where I've seen this, but I do remember there was a thing where we saw there were only 6 symbols, but there was seemed to be one missing. Something must have happened to this dragon. We just don't know. Wait, hold on. The source dragon. What if that source dragon whose life was extinguished didn't get extinguished? You know what I mean? What if that dragon is actually alive and is still doing the things? Well, I mean, it's still alive and kicking butt as the villains, or with the villains. But yeah, when you have we hold together the very fabric of reality, it would be very bad. Got it. What do you mean? I would assume they're overdrive now because of all the merge, because of the merge and what's going on with that. But yeah, yeah, strongest connection, that would make sense. Yeah, that is not how Power Wars work. Which I mean, it makes sense because we did see, at least I think it was the motion one that even before that we did see that she was the one who was concerned about all this enough to want to get involved. But even then, it was different. But yeah, home like a tournament's elephants thing. Not a competition founded by mortals. There's our cosmic game, legend of which may have inspired imitations. Which, I mean, to be fair, that makes perfect sense. Chain was always a trickster guy, master planner. He would obviously probably have caught wind of this wherever the temple city, I guess, city of temples, wherever that tournament of sources, he used that and made it into a tournament of elements, which I mean, it does make this much more official, much more like important, and much more of a actual like thing instead of it being a big ruse, big trap, a big thing going on. So like this already makes me like it a lot more than I mean, not saying it wasn't good, not saying it was bad, but just saying that in the terms of a tournament, this would make it more official. There's no like over things going on with all the people who are running the tournament are actually evil, which I mean, it's something we already knew pretty much. But yeah, that just makes it a lot more interesting to me, and a lot more like something for us to go on. Yeah, you want to, which I mean, stop before it's too late. Which I mean, no pressure, right? But yeah, like this already does make sense. Why would they join the tournaments if they already went through a bad one long ago? Which I mean, to be fair, for what it seems like, the tournament wasn't sent to all Elemental Masters. I assume only to like specific invitations, or hey, have you tournament heard that tournament? Why don't you come and check it out with us? Which I guess not. I guess not. Actually, now that I think about it, where is Cole and Zane? We don't even see them chilling here. I wonder where they are. Probably with the others finders, I assume. So yeah, stop them for this release. So like no pressure, which I mean, but also like this does give a good excuse for how they go about it and go and check what's going on there. So yeah, that was episode 1. Surely a lot happened in that episode. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much all to talk about. Oh yeah, also before I forget, the thing I wanted to mention, until I see certain other people do the same thing, or assuming they've spoken on good terms of it, anyways, I will be undecided on if I should upload this as of the time of this recording, or uploading it by the time the actual season comes out, quote unquote, officially, in Netflix in October, whenever that may be. But yeah, so I mean, obviously you won't hear about this until I actually upload it, but yeah, this is me thinking about it. So like, if you do see, other people doing that, which I mean, There has been. I think I've only seen like one, I think, but there's other people that are doing it, and there's so safely. I'm not saying it's morally incorrect. I'm just unsure what to do exactly. But I will probably keep recording these as much as I can in order to stay ahead of spoilers. Because I mean, let's be honest. If I try to stay ahead of spoilers since October, I'm probably not gonna. It's probably not gonna work. It's not gonna work at all. I have way too many friends that are in the Ninjago community. Anyways, I'll think about it. I'll think about what to do, and surely you all will know what I do. Anyways, so yeah, that was Lego Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 2, Episode 11, Shape of Motion. Which actually, though, yeah, she was in the title. Should expect that. Anyways, this has been my reaction to Lego Ninjago this episode. I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all like, comment, subscribe for more, and maybe I'll do some more with Lego stuff in the future. Hint, hint, hint. If I had a wink emote, I would be doing it. Wait, this is close enough, right? Haha. I have my position is pretty good actually. While I have my finger pointing like this, like I'm thinking here. I also have my sick bag in my other hand. Nice, very nice. Anyways, if y'all enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.